Hi, this is Lorraine with Chat and Craft with Lorraine Tierney, and I am making a video for you today of a Z-fold card that I made about a week ago on my Facebook Live. This is the card that I showed beforehand. So it is a Z-fold that opens like this. It's pretty quick and easy to use, and I thought I would just make a video to give you some instructions for it. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is find my cheat sheet. Okay, here it is. So we're going to cut our piece of cardstock. This is balmy blue cardstock because I'm going to use some beautiful papers from the pack called You're a Peach. So these have peachy colored papers, as you might guess. All right, let me put those over there. So we're going to cut this piece of cardstock 4 1/4 by 11. So we're basically cutting the 8.5 inch side in half. We'll use this whole piece, and then we're going to cut another piece to 1 3/4 by 11. This is extra, we'll save, and then we'll use these two pieces. We're going to do a little bit of scoring. We're going to score this one at 2 3/4. So I'm sliding my cutting blade out of the way. 2 3/4, and then 5 1/2. Okay, set that aside, and we're going to do the same thing on the narrower piece of paper. We're going to score it at 2 3/4. I feel like I might have done that last one at 2 1/2. I'm going to have to check that. And 5 1/2. 2 3/4. Yes, good. And 5 1/2. Okay, now we can set the trimmer aside and grab your bone folder if you can find it. Mine even has a little tail on it to help me find it, but it still hides on me. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to score that, and then I'm going to fold back the piece that had the score line in it and burnish that fold. So there's the beginning of a Z. And I'm going to do the same thing on the smaller piece. So you have two Z's that mirror each other. And basically the way we make this card is just flip that one over so it fits in like this. Okay. So when we scored them, they were both like this. We flip this one over and flip it over again. All right, so now we'll put some pieces together. So I'm going to use the reverse side of this beautiful peach paper on here and glue that down. I like the liquid glue because I like the wiggle room that it gives you. And all these measurements will be on the blog post, but this piece is 2 1/2 by 4. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one differently than I did this on the Zoom. I have white and DSP on this one. I'm going to put all DSP on the inside of this, just like that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do about writing a message. I have not made a sample one this way, and sometimes I don't love my ideas when they're done, but it's only paper, so we are going to try it. if you want, you can put a piece of DSP here. That's the same size as this one, 2 1/4 by 4. I did not do it because when it's standing up, you don't really see it, and when it's closed, you don't see it. Okay, now on this piece, so it's going to go, you want it in the proper orientation now. It's going to fit in like this. I'm going to put 2 smaller pieces of the DSP right there, and these measure 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. And again, it's the reverse side of the peachy stuff. But I want there to be some contrast. This is in front of the peachy part, so I'm going to use the other side of it. Those 2 on, and I'm not going to put that on yet. I'm going to put a piece of white paper here, but I'm going to stamp on that before I put it down, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set. I love that Happy Birthday, and I'm going to stamp it in Calypso Coral, which is the color of the peaches. Okay, so I'm inking it all over on my Calypso Coral because I seem to have a couple different shades in my Calypso Coral, and I'm using my grid paper to line up my paper that I'm going to stamp the sentiment on, and then I'm going to try to get the Happy Birthday pretty straight on there. It's kind of a up and down sentiment, so it's hard to get it totally straight, but that will go like that. Okay, and I fussy cut some peaches. I don't have the dies or the stamp set yet that go with this paper, but I do love the colors. I'm having trouble picking these up. Okay, so I did get, I did fussy cut, some of these things out. So I'm just trying to see how I'm going to put these on. I was thinking of this one looking like it's tucked under there. And then this one, yeah, like that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is glue this little partial peach on there. And I'm just want to make sure that's going to be in front of that. Yep. And then this is going to go over it. Let's glue this on right side up and not upside down. Okay. There we go. So that peach looks like it's peeking out from under there. Now I did say we weren't going to use our trimmer anymore, but I forgot that I love to use this corner here. I think you can see this corner. Let me slide it up to line things up and get them nice and even. So I'm going to put my Z-fold part up a little bit from the bottom. That's maybe a, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to put some tear and tape on this small flap of the card. And I'm doing that instead of glue because I think it will be easier to control. I'm afraid the glue will slide too much. This is one of those instances where I guess I don't want the wiggle room. Okay, so there's my tear and tape, and I'm going to peel off the release paper. I use my nail or my take your pick tool. Okay, and then making sure this is going the right way, I'm gonna put it right up against that line. There we go. And then this side is going to go down over here. Same kind of thing. So this time, I'm only going to put tear and tape to just on the other side of the peach. I'm going to use that as my guide. I can put a piece here. I'm trying to be sure I stay in the camera for you. Okay. And I'll put one more piece right there. Okay, and now we'll just peel off that released paper. Whoops, I'm getting the tear and tape as well as the paper on that one. There we go. And there's the last one. Okay, and again, I'm going to put my card right in the corner there and smooth it right down. Okay, now I can add a little bit of glue behind that leaf so it doesn't flop too much. I'm just going to put a little dab just to hold that there. There we go. And here's my other peach. I think I'll pop that one up on some dimensionals. I have glue on my fingers. It is sticking. And I think I have some little dimensionals lying around here that I can put on these little leaves. You can always cut the bigger dimensionals if you don't have the minis. I cut the edges and use the edges of the dimensionals as well. No waste. We don't want to throw that stuff away. Okay, so I'll peel off the paper. I think for real I can get this out of the way. And I'm going to put this on right there. So happy birthday. Now I think we need something right there. So I'm going to punch a sentiment, and I'm going to use best year. I love this, wishing you your best year yet. I use that one a lot. And then the hip hip hooray for the congratulations. And I think for this one, I think I'll go with the pool party. We'll see. If I don't like it, we can switch to the other one. And I'm going to leave room for my punch. There we go. Wishing you your best year yet. It might be a little bit crooked, but I can account for that when I put it in here. And I always punch with looking up and looking in my punch so I can line things up. And I almost always punch first. I'm sorry, stamp first. I'm trying to get this straight, and punch second. Okay, so let's see how this, yeah, I'm going to put that right there. One of the things you can do is, this is not the right color. This is a Flirty Flamingo scrap, but you can always punch a second one and either put it on the back like that to give it a little more dimension, or you can cut this in half and put one on each end. You'd want to take a little more time than this maybe to get it right. And then it has a little something behind it. I think I'll use a little piece of this. That's not going to show up too much. Let's see what I have handy. Well, here's the balmy blue. I think we'll take a piece of balmy blue and cut out a punch. You know what? I don't know why I picked a pool party for stamping that. It should have been balmy blue. I am going to stamp it again. Sorry about that. Here is balmy blue. I cleaned my stamp off camera. Let's see if I can get this straight enough. There we go, much better. I was looking at that color and wondering what was going on. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back, and I'm going to try to line that up evenly. You would definitely want to use the liquid glue on that because it gives you some wiggle room. I'll add a couple more dimensionals on the back of that. Okay, and I'm going to put that, I'm going to have it be above the line. There you go. So wishing you your best year yet. Happy birthday. And then on the back here, I'll put a piece of white that's 5 1/4 by 4, but I'm going to write my message on this before I put it on the back because it would be a little bit lumpy to write on. And I'm going to stamp another happy birthday on there because that's a lot of space to fill up with writing, and I don't want to have that kind of pressure. So I'm going to stamp happy birthday right there. There you go. And I could cut out another peach or something else if I wanted, or just put a strip of, whoops, that's upside down, a strip of DSP right there. Let's do that. Let's improvise. So I know that that's 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to trim this to 4. It looks like it is 4. And I think I'll do a 1-inch piece. And I want to get a pretty decent piece of peach in there. Well, not sure you're going to be able to tell it's peaches, but I'm going to put it on anyway. So I'm going to glue this right on here. And I left a little bit of white so that when you put it on, there, it'll look like that. Happy birthday. And then here is the front of your Z-fold, and you're all set. Okay, I hope you liked making that card. The rest of the instructions are in the blog, all the measurements, and I'd love to see what you make. Post it on my Facebook page, Chat and Craft with Lorraine, or send it to me in an email at chatandcraftwithlorraine.com or at gmail.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.